Today's video is going to be short and sweet, but I also did not plan to film this. You've been watching the Olympic Games, and if you've been following the media, there has been an episode and I would really like to dedicate a couple of minutes to this. There has been a lot to discuss, to talk about, a lot of drama, also many memes. This really strikes a chord with me. Benedetta Pilato, a 19-year-old swimmer. She's probably one of the major examples of what I describe as toxic productivity, toxic perfectionism, when we strive for perfection in such ways that we do not even realize when we are actually successful already. Benedetta is an athlete, a swimmer, who has been in the center of a debate in the Italian media these past few days because of her reaction to arriving fourth, thus not winning a medal, not getting on the podium in the 100-meter breaststroke final. She had cried tears of joy.
Però sono lacrime di gioia, ve lo giuro. È stato il giorno più bello della mia vita.
She described this as il giorno migliore della sua vita, the best day of her life. And this girl, despite her extremely young age, because even though I'm young, I'm 26, she's 7 years younger than me, and she has been the prime example. She is the prime example of what I've been trying to learn by myself in the past years. So let's see what happened, and then let me share a very brief comment on this. This has sparked some controversy because people who interviewed her and also people who commented on the show, for example, in the Italian TV, they have expressed how it's very difficult to believe her, and her reaction is quite dishonest because how could you be proud of a fourth place? The reason why I decided to talk about this is because sometimes we are so blinded by the sight of medals, of incredible achievement. We sometimes fail to see that, hey, just pause for a moment, you've reached the Olympic Games, you've actually gone to Paris for the Olympics. Let's change the situation. You're learning a language and you make a very tiny slip, you make a small mistake, but hey, you have learned a language from scratch. You're learning about a new subject and you don't understand one tiny issue, one tiny problem, one tiny thing. But hey, you've acquired like so many notions, hundreds and hundreds of notions. But yeah, there is that one tiny thing that's giving you a hard time, so we assume we are a failure. We are probably the descendants of a society which is never satisfied and is always trying to push you down because it gives you motivation, it makes you improve. And I've been also raised by a family like this, where everyone wanted me to be a high achiever, which I have become in my teenage years, in my adolescence. I was a high achiever. I had very high scores. I was what in Italy we call a secchiona, somebody who would study a lot, and I had the great advantage of being naturally, I don't want to say talented, but I had this kind of predisposition of enjoying studying, being curious, enjoying learning about the culture, history, geography. But when you get a high score, when you get an 8, a 9 out of 10, and it's never enough because you have to get that 10 out of 10. And when you get that 10 out of 10, you can still do more because, well, if you got 10 out of 10, it was too simple. You have to go further. You have to improve even more. That's the society we're talking about. Many families raise their children in this way. And there are positive sides and negative sides to this, but in this very moment, we had a very great example of how negative this was. Listening to the story, hearing the commentary, seeing the narrative behind this, it really got under my skin because this is something that I've been trying to unlearn from my personal life, and that's something I've been preaching about on my social media. Trying to ditch perfectionism and trying to, yes, improving, Kaizen philosophy, trying to achieve more, but not in a detrimental way. And this has just been such a great thing to take inspiration from. And I really wanted to dedicate a couple of minutes to this. When can I appreciate the point I've reached? The goals I have reached so far? When do I actually appreciate this? Before I continue learning. Progressing is okay, but if we do not acknowledge our progresses, there's no point actually. We are never ending this vicious circle, and that's not okay, that's not healthy. Kudos to Benedetta, she has been incredible. I wish her all the successes she strives for, she deserves, she's eager to achieve. But I also believe that she's already been so successful, both in terms of swimming and also probably when it comes to teaching all of us a lesson on mentality. Let me know what's your take on this. Did you hear about this in your country? Because here in Italy, this has been discussed all over. Let me know what's your take, and I will see you soon with a new piece of content. Bye!